Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else in between, welcome back to the 42nd episode of the 42 podcast, where as always, we have your good friend and mine, Mr. Ryan, but not as always, we have our good friends from the Dresden Files podcast for a crossover event. Yay! How is everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Yay, awesome. We have back Alex and Justin from the last time we did this, which was like, I don't know, like episode 34 or something like that. Actually, I had probably older than that. I don't know. But now we have another Alex. So y'all introduce yourselves. I asked y'all to prepare like your favorite book and or movie so we can make fun of you for having terrible taste. So why don't we go from left to right? So Justin, why don't you start? Then director Alex, then new Alex. And yeah, so we'll go from there.
Favorite book and or movie. So favorite book is definitely going to be from the Dresden Files, so if I actually pin one down, the other two hosts are going to beat me with some kind of rubber mallet.
Do it. But, do it. Be a man of your convictions, my friend.
I know. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Skin Game, actually. So out of the 15, really? I'm going to narrow it down to Skin Game.
God, you're wrong. False.
I mean, the problem is I always want to go with Changes, but the Changes is just its own beast, so...
Yeah, but you never shut up about Turncoat.
I know, and Turncoat is definitely one of my favorites, but I think they get better each time. And so until Tea Party comes out, then... I'm just kidding. So until Peace Talks come out, then this is what we got, so... Movie is tough, because... I've always watched movies forever, and my family's just kind of like, we're the pop culture people, so picking your favorite movies, like, what is it today?
Yeah. I'm definitely there.
And then it's like, which of the awesome genres? So,
well,
let's go
with what genre?
Well, I think I'm going to pull the Star Wars nerd, and I'm gonna say Empire Strikes Back. So
I think it's a classic.
I mean, if we wanted to narrow it down to like Star Trek, I could tell you my favorite Star Trek movie and blah blah blah. But I think that's what I'm gonna go with. So to keep this like under an hour.
Yeah, with as many people as we have on the podcast, this could very likely be a long one.
Right.
So, director Alex, how about you?
I mean, I'm tempted to say one of the Dresden Files also is a favorite, but I can't ignore how Dragon Prince, written by Melanie Ron, just really defines my childhood a lot. It's kind of like from preteen to not teen, that really was my favorite, and I attached to it a lot. So I probably have to say that. But I'm probably going to now get beaten by my co-hosts now. So.
Get the rubber mallets.
Bring out the mallets.
You have seen a movie, right? Like just a movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's the same problem. It's like, I don't know what would be the favorite movie. It's which one is it that I've been binge watching lately? I have no idea. I actually can't remember the last time I watched a full movie. Of the recent things, I guess I'd say Edge of Tomorrow. That thing was fantastic. So.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, she's hot, seriously, so...
Yeah, that movie was good. I enjoyed that a lot.
And new Alex, welcome to the podcast. Who has no video, and we'll mock you incessantly for that.
That's okay. That's fair. So I'm actually going to give a game for my favorite movie, because this game is very cinematic, and I'm trying to spread awareness. I hope you don't mind. I'm kind of going.
Go for it, man. We don't care.
A couple of days ago, I finished Life is Strange. It's a episodic.
It's on Steam.
Yeah, it's Steam, PS4, Xbox One. It's similar to the Telltale games. I don't know if you guys have played any of those, like The Walking Dead or The Wolf Among Us.
Both incredible games.
Yeah, but this like takes it up like a million notches. The story is so engrossing, and the character development. It feels like they're real people, really? And it's just so good. Like I haven't stopped thinking about it since I finished playing it.
Huh.
So I would definitely recommend that to anyone who's listening. It's really awesome. It's like $20 for all 5 episodes now. Favorite book? I'm gonna go with The Half-Blood Prince from Harry Potter. Boom! Not even Dresden Files book. What are you guys gonna do about it?
I had that one.
Beat me up with the rubber mallets.
But Half-Blood Prince. I don't. It just has my favorite story of all the books.
Is that the one with the?
It's the one where Dumbledore dies, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I mean, the
Yeah.
book's like 15 years old, but
Right.
you never
See
know.
the movies and every
one-
instance ever.
Snape kills
Heard it
Dumbledore.
here first.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's definitely. I don't know. It's just always been my favorite. Yeah, my favorite book.
That is a good book. That's a really good book.
Man, I couldn't get that far. I got like a quarter
Really?
away. Yeah, I got a
Oh.
quarter way into the 5th book, or the Phoenix, and I was like,
Man.
"Fuck you, J.K. Rowling. Your
Yeah.
writing style is terrible. I'm done." And I just quit. I quit listening
That's
to him.
5 more books than I made it, so good job.
I mean, Stephen Fry does an amazing job reading those books. So I'll
He
give
does.
him.
He's an amazing voice actor. I forgot that I was listening to a single person doing all of those voices
I
when
know,
listening to
right?
the audiobooks.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, Ryan. Favorite book and/or movie?
Well, my favorite movie. It's so hard to choose, right? Like
Right.
one movie, but it has to be Fight Club.
Oh, nice.
Classic.
It
Yeah.
defined me,
Choice.
like as a kid, like as a teenager. Yeah, that. And book, man. I guess I'd go with the what is it, Death Mask,
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
with Nicodemus and
Yeah.
You see director Alex over here, like, biting her tongue.
No,
Why?
no, it's okay. We can just like do ranking at some point.
Why?
Get into like war with each other just over
Yeah.
that bit.
Did you guys listen to that episode or know what we're talking about?
No.
I've listened to some of the ranking episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did like a 2-hour-long episode where, because we were going to do a series of episodes where we ranked all the books in order, and we couldn't even get past the first 4 books or 5 books, and we got like tons of people, like at least half a dozen or a dozen. I guess that's not a ton of people, but a bunch of people saying like we fucking. Sorry, is there?
No,
is this
no, no.
okay?
It's an
No.
explicit podcast.
Okay, we got people like we fucking hate this. It's terrible. It was like so frustrating for them to listen to us go back and forth, but it was fun.
On the other side, we had a couple diehard fans saying that this is perfect, keep doing this, don't ever doubt yourself on this.
Yeah.
And so we're just
Yeah.
left really confused on what to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Who
Yeah,
cares?
dude, yeah. If they'll
source.
they keep coming back. It doesn't matter.
Good choice, though, Ryan. I like that book, too. So,
Yeah?
yeah.
Or are you just patronizing me? You making
No,
fun
no,
of me?
no.
I don't know.
No,
I
for
agree.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, Death Masks, it's, Susan comes back, right? So
Yes.
you get to see all the new sexy hotness, and, spoiler alert, they have a kid because of the stuff that happens
Sexy
here.
hotness.
So, right, because of sexy hotness, and you're like, huh, Butcher can write. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the
I
one
don't.
that really stretches.
Yeah, that's
things
what
up.
he it really takes off for me. Death Mask.
Nice.
And I'm such a huge fan of the Denarians.
Yeah.
And I like
right.
at the end of that one, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like he buries the coin, you're like, oh, where's Butcher gonna go with this? That's one of the few times where I wish I didn't have the rest of the series completed. I would have liked to have wondered what was gonna happen next. Because in my universe, I read that one and then instantly started the next book. I don't,
Right.
as soon as I could. So I didn't have any waiting time to like ponder, like, oh, what's gonna happen with that coin? Because in your mind, you know that Dresden is really seduced by that kind of power. It's like, I'm curious.
Speaking of the Denarians, and I was not on the last episode, and you guys started talking about Nicodemus, and I was listening, and I was just like screaming to myself in my car. I don't know if these guys told you how I feel about Nicodemus, the character. I think you guys were talking about like what makes it or which characters are evil, right? No, it was a while ago. It was,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and someone kept saying that like Nicodemus wasn't like that evil of a character, and I'm just like,
Who said that?
I don't know, but
Probably
Nicodemus
me.
is the,
It
Sounds
was
like-
probably Alex.
Alex
Yeah.
would say.
Nicodemus is the most evil character, period, in the story.
No.
But
No?
we don't have to,
Who is
we don't
that?
have to open that can of words. We don't have to
Okay.
open that can of words. Just because
I was listening to y'all. Y'all recently had that discussion like 2 podcasts ago, right? 3 podcasts ago?
Yeah, after you guys came on and we were talking about Nicodemus, we got criticism that we were like missing a certain aspect of that conversation, so we had an entire new episode basically focusing on that.
Right.
And then like a little bit of other stuff at the end, so it's like we just got into that conversation for a long time.
Yeah. I think there's a issue with actually defining good and evil the way y'all were. I think you can define it by lawfully good and evil, which would make things a lot easier. But then a lot of people in the story would fall into the evil category. Because even Murphy towards the end is doing things that a cop wouldn't approve of.
Yeah.
So if you're going to base it on what society would define as good and right, or right and wrong, they're all wrong. And if you're going to base it on like who's good for just that circle of story, then a lot of them are good. A lot of them take care of each other, and a lot of them are enemy friends, right? You know, they kind of scratch each other backs against the greater evil. But if you didn't know the story, if you just looked at it from a whole, Marcone's a bad guy, Mav's a bad guy. If you just asked a 5-year-old, hey, you know, if you just put pictures up, they're bad people. They are bad people. And Harry would be a monster. Like, he's already been described as a monster. He's a good guy, but barely. He's an anti-hero. He's not really even a good guy. Like, he does a lot of bad things himself.
Right.
There's a few times where he kills people that he probably shouldn't have. And
Well-
Butcher just kind of like, well, he just kind of, you know.
Just look at Death Masks, right? Death Masks sells that 100%. You know, look, Michael is the paladin. He's the good guy. He has
Michael
to be
and
good
are
for
the
you.
only 2 good people.
But Michael and
Maggie?
Sonia aren't here, and I've got a baseball bat, so we're going to talk. So,
Right. I love that scene.
it's so
The only
good.
thing that I wished would have been different is I wish he'd have shut the door with the bat.
Right.
You know, just the end of the bat, just shut the door and turned around a little slower instead of the way he did it. And but yeah, it's perfect. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
Well,
not.
maybe when we get a visual representation of everything, they'll do that.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
Eventually.
But listening to your conversation, I think the problem with the conversation was actually defining the good and evil. You know, a lot of people are defining, you know, good for either Dresden or good for the immediate, you know, right now. But the reality is most of them are actually bad people. Actually, most of them are monsters. It's just a good story.
Well, I think there's levels, right? There's levels of evil,
Yeah.
and Nicodemus is way, way, way at the bottom. Of
I
that.
think
It's-
Nicodemus is one of the only evil of the people, like actually evil. Like if Michael's the paladin, if he's the good guy, like an actual Father Fort Hill, if they're actually the good guys of the story, right? Then Nicodemus is an actual bad guy. Like an
Yeah,
actual- like
Yes, he
actually
is.
evil, yeah.
straight up. Yes, I agree with that.
And then
I'm
they're
gonna
all
put,
you know
I'm gonna
shades
put
in
Mab
between.
in that wheelhouse too, though. Like, I think Mab is as close to the devil as we've seen. She's just our devil, you know.
Right.
Like,
My
We don't-
argument.
yeah,
My argument was that because Mab is Mab lacks the ability to be she lacks free will, and B, she doesn't have an understanding of what, just like Bob doesn't really have an understanding of what is good
Right.
and bad.
Yeah, I think I was so frustrated listening to y'all make that conversation because no one mentioned, they kept making talking about Mav being able to make choices. She can make her own choices or not, and no one mentioned free will. It's like, no, like it's already been specifically said that she doesn't have free will.
I said that. I said that like 10 times.
I know, but I
Right,
didn't hear
guys?
the free
Back
will.
me up,
I
guys.
didn't hear those 2 words put together that would have made me feel better.
No,
Because that's the
exactly how
argument
I
that
feel.
really works.
Yeah,
Because
that's exactly.
the one who was killed, that's the reason, because we end up learning that the virus, or what is it? What do they call that?
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
The Nemesis. It actually ended up allowing one of them to have free will. And that
Well-
was...
One of my problems in the entire conversation, both now and before, was the fact that people are conflating free will and the ability to lie. And those are different things. Just because Maeve could lie doesn't mean that she didn't already have free will before she couldn't. So
I'd have to listen to it again, but I thought it actually specifically mentions free will. I thought that
I
was...
remember
really
Mav
good.
saying things like choices. Everybody wants choices or free will, and everyone who doesn't have it wants it. But
Yeah, there's a whole conversation about it.
yes, but just because Mav couldn't lie doesn't mean that she didn't have free will, because they can choose in how they push things. They still have choice, and
But
in
wasn't
that way,
the
they still have free
conversation
will.
about desire of free will?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it straight up said that the fairy queens don't have free will.
Yeah, I'd have to listen
Don't
to it
think
again,
so.
but I'm pretty sure. We'll have to listen to it. But anyway, I
Anyway.
don't think she does. I really do think she's like a.
Oh, I think we lost Justin. Did we lose Justin?
Oh, no.
There he is.
Justin.
Yes. And on this week's episode of the Dresden Files podcast, we talk about free will. Let's see. If I don't know about movies, because movies are tough because there's so many. But favorite book for me, I mean, this is mostly on its re-listening value, is probably Ready Player One.
Ah, yeah.
You're the second person to mention that book to me in like 48 hours.
It
Now
is.
that I've read it 4 times, I'm starting to see the holes in it.
Oh yeah.
It took me a long time to wash the veneer off of it. I was
But
like,
it's one of the
I
few
love
books that I can put anywhere on, like anywhere
Yeah.
inside the book, and I can start listening to it right
It's
away.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
It is. It really is.
Uh,
Yeah. Have you ever read it, Alex?
No, I might give it a try though.
Oh my God, it's a blast. It's so much fun. It's like a the old 80s, like a movie like War Games or Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
just like
You
an
ever seen
epic
those?
scale of it.
No,
It's just-
actually,
What?
You've never seen those?
I've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. No.
You're
Oh
a
my
terrible
God!
person.
Really?
You're a terrible fucking person.
Hey man, nice to meet you
Live.
too.
Go kill yourself.
No, there's like a couple of older movies that I just never got back to, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, I only saw Godfather last year, but I've seen
Really?
it now. Yeah,
Damn.
I've never seen Godfather.
it's overrated.
Really?
Okay.
Godfather 2 is not overrated.
Godfather 2 is amazing.
I have not seen Godfather 2. I've only seen Godfather
You
1.
have to. Oh,
Godfather 2 is the epic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you people? Like, who am I in the company of all of a sudden? Like,
What are you
y'all
talking
seemed on the up and up in level, but you haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like, come on.
Okay, so
I know a lot of the references to it, like the whole Bueller thing.
Don't. You need to see it.
all right, so this asks the question: what's the one movie you think is just severely overrated? That is like considered a classic that you think just fucking sucks.
Avengers.
Ooh, oh, that's okay.
We used to be cool. I don't think we're friends anymore.
Show your work,
This
Alex.
is after
Show
I
your-
said Joss Whedon is a shitty writer and everything, and you're surprised I say Avengers sucked.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Like,
Joss
has
Whedon
she-
is not a shitty writer. You are
I
wrong, woman.
cannot.
like read comics for the love of God. Like
Actually, I don't
it
read
was-
comics. That's
it was
probably-
everything every nerd has ever wanted out of a comic book movie. Like just think about the Battle of New York and the montage that like happens, but instead of like breaking shit up into frames, we just zoom into different parts of the battle, and we've got Captain America fighting with Iron Man and bouncing shit off their shields and shit like they do in the comics. Like, come on, it's amazing.
Okay, Alex, you have to defend your position better than Josh Whedon is a shitty writer, because we all know that's a lie. So,
I have never been impressed with anything of he's written, but a lot of it is like Justin brought up the episode of Buffy called Hush that he made in terms of like as a retort to people saying that he's just awesome witticisms and stuff. And I
Right.
haven't watched that because I couldn't sit through Buffy enough to get to the awesome bit. So I admit, maybe he's more awesome than I give him credit for, but what I have seen I've not been impressed with. People always give him credit for writing awesome women characters. I've never really liked them because they just seem like the cool hot chick that can do kung fu type of strong character instead of Murphy who can take a beating and keep going.
so what do you think about Firefly?
Yeah, did you
never
see
watched
Firefly?
it.
Yeah, you should watch it.
What?
Oh, okay. I'm going to defend Alex.
I'm going to
I
revoke
hadn't-
your nerd cred here.
No,
Just-
I hadn't watched it until several months ago.
Hey, we've already established you have terrible taste, man. Just-
You or the other Alex. Because I like Joss Whedon.
That's
man.
funny.
We're gonna have a get together at some point. We're gonna sit you down. We're gonna tape you to a chair, and you're gonna watch all
Take your
15
eyelids, like,
hours
all-
of Firefly. Like, come on.
Yeah, because that's all there is.
That's all
Yeah.
there is.
Spoiler alert.
Hey,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
let me-
another
let
thing.
me tell you-
you can't just say that.
I mean, I know it just stops at some point, and
Yeah.
it just like I don't. I think it was you, Ryan, who said that. I don't want to get into something that just stops, never getting like anything more.
I've
It's
never
just,
seen it either.
Oh
my
so
God.
you saying we all have terrible taste. But actually, let me quickly tell a story about that. Right? I think it's 14 or 12 episodes. I can't remember. But-
12 were aired, but it was a total of 15. I think that's right.
Okay. Well, I got to whatever the last episode was, and I knew that there was only so many episodes and that it was like a really short one-season thing because it got canceled. I get to the last episode, and I'm like in the last like 5 minutes, but I forgot that I was like, I thought there was another episode for some reason. So I get to the last 5 minutes, and I'm like, I fucking freaked out. Like, really panic attack freaked out. Because I couldn't believe this really great series ended, like, just so abruptly with... There's no ending. There's literally no ending. It's just like, that's it. It's over.
That's what like Serenity is for, is trying to give you some closure.
Serenity is an even bigger disappointment. It was a good movie, but it was a disappointment because they shoved, like, 4 seasons of story into like an hour and a half movie, right, or 2-hour movie. It's so rushed, and there's like so much stuff. It would have been so much better as a couple seasons, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Serenity is your death masks if Butcher just stopped writing. That's what that's what Serenity is.
God.
At the end, they bury the coin, and then you're like, "What the fuck was
No.
that? Where's the rest of the story?"
It's like literally no resolution. It's like fuck. It makes me so upset. It's just like they talk about in White Knight how there's a Dresden Files podcast how there was in the very beginning the woman that commits suicide in quotation marks. She left her meat soaking, like marinating, and it looks like basically someone was there and then just went out for the night but then died. That's what this is like. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to anyone?
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
the book just ending halfway through. Not even at
Yeah.
the end, but just halfway through.
Exactly.
You're like, what the fuck? Where's the next page? Yeah, that kind of feeling.
Ugh.
All right, Justin, what's your overrated, like just classic overrated movie?
Overrated. Man. I don't know, because I'm bad in the sense that like there's only a handful of movies that I've ever even walked out of. Let's see. Oh, can I do a new movie that's overrated?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Star Wars Episode 7. Bam, I said
Oh.
it.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
Get out!
What? Seen it yet.
I'm
So,
so sick
I'm-
of people.
Half kidding. I've only seen it one time, and everybody that I've ever talked to, including numerous reviews online, say don't hate it till you've seen it twice. So I still got to work it up to see the second time. But talk about a hype train that I was watching it, and I'm like, don't do it, don't be bad. I'm gonna give you your dues. We went and saw it. So I just
like 2 episodes ago, Ryan went on like a 20-minute rant about the new Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe
that
we're going to share notes then, Ryan, because I think you're the only person that hasn't like vomited in their mouth when I just said it wasn't the greatest movie ever.
No, you're
So-
not the
Oh
No,
no.
like for me, the new Star Wars was good, not great, but I'm really excited for the new stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
for
Like,
sure.
that's kind of what that's like. So it's I can see all its flaws, but I really want Episode 8 right now.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll give that to you because you got to believe that there's more to the story. And
Right.
knowing that they're doing another trilogy, there will be more to the story. This isn't just Star Trek where it's like that's what we get for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
But, I just, without spoiling it, I think that's the one that comes to mind. Like, without digging through an extensive library of movies and being like, which one do I hate the most that everybody loves? Like, I
Yeah.
think that's the one that comes to mind. So,
All right.
Just a side note, real quick, Director Alex, it's not spoiled yet. You don't know what happens in it.
I know a little bit.
You
I
live
don't
in a
want
cave.
more.
right. No,
I
don't.
haven't been able to go see it because I'm going to go see it with my husband, but he's too busy to go with me. So I've just kind of been waiting and hoping that he doesn't collapse because he's overworked.
Do you guys on Sundays? Because there's this new invention called the Sunday where you can go
Well,
see a
no,
matinee.
so he's in his last semester as a physics math double major right now, and he has to take
Yeah.
advanced lab, which is sucking like at least 20 hours a week out of him for one class. And he has
That's
to go into the lab every single day. So Sundays are like the only days that he doesn't have to go. I'm not going to ask him to go to the movie to see a movie that he doesn't really want to see
Right.
on that day. So it's,
I
Oh,
will
yeah,
say
that's
it's amazing how little the internet has spoiled this. Like the fact that you've gone this far and you don't
Yeah.
know.
I saw a thing where someone took the synopsis of A New Hope, crossed out a few words, and replaced them. And that was
Well.
enough that it got at least one big spoiler, but I'm hoping that it didn't ruin everything.
Yeah,
Right.
probably
No.
did.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, if that's all you got, then it should be good.
Yeah. So, who's next?
New Alex.
Okay, I found one. I think This Is the End for me was very over. Wait, we're saying overrated, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
you didn't like
definitely
it.
over.
Did.
Yeah, it wasn't as funny. I don't know. I love Judd Apatow movies. I love all those actors. It just felt really forced and like they were trying to pour all this money into like this blockbuster movie when the real charm of those movies is they're like really not huge budget, lots of dialogue. That's what makes them funny. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that movie was okay. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the like Seth Rogen and
yeah, giant Satan dong just flapping around.
It felt like it was just they were just
haven't
trying
seen
so
it, so-
hard.
yeah.
What
Well,
movie?
and I
is this?
mean,
I think I
from-
missed that bit.
Oh, This Is the End.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think from the previews I was like kind of excited, and then the closer it got out, the more like they revealed about the movie, and then I'm like, and so I just still haven't seen it. So
It's probably worth watching at least once.
Eh.
What? You just said it sucked.
No,
he said it was overrated.
I mean, it wasn't. It's kind of. I think it's definitely on the way lower end of Judd Apatow movies. See, it's weird because I normally find myself defending movies that everyone else doesn't think are as good. So it's a weird position to be in.
Nice, nice. Let's see. For me, it's 2001: A Space Odyssey. That movie is terrible. Terrible pacing, terrible writing. It's a clusterfuck of a movie. It's a terrible fucking movie. And everyone's like, "Oh my god," because it won Best Picture and all that shit. Or I think it did anyway. Terrible movie.
Is it? I've never seen it.
Oh,
Actually.
it's terrible. It's
we
so slow.
actually just rewatched it. So yeah, I mean,
Come at me, bro.
yeah, I agree with you for several things, but it's Carl Sagan, right? So like, if you were expecting some kind of action movie, then am I misremembering? Is it Arthur C. Clarke or is it Carl Sagan? I can't remember who wrote it now, but so
I thought
yeah,
it was
you guys are gonna make me Google on the fly. So
Yeah, no, I thought it was the guy who faked the moon landing.
So I know Stanley. Yeah, so
Kubrick.
Arthur C. Clarke. He's the guy who wrote it.
Oh, I see. The
Pretty
director.
sure.
Yeah,
and
but
then, yeah,
the
director
pacing of
is-
that movie is just
so.
terrible. Like it is terrible pacing.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those old movies where you're like, you get all the old timey and you don't get any of the new hotness. So like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be mind blowing because like the models look legit and they did the artificial gravity right and shit like that. Like this was before Gravity, so it was a big deal and whatever. But yeah,
It's before Gravity.
well, the movie Gravity, not before.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like yeah, never mind.
It's old.
It's old. Before Newton or
Before
whatever.
before Gravity was invented, they made this movie. So
I mean, they did a good job. I mean, if they had no gravity, they did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah. So I guess it's my turn then, huh?
Yeah. That's,
So, I don't know if this is cheating. If it is cheating, I have a backup. But I think Game of Thrones. It's not a movie, but it's the hype behind that is phenomenal. and I didn't get past the second fucking like episode or something.
Oh
like
no, you have to keep watching. You have to keep watching.
No, I don't.
It got terrible. Like the
That
first
shit
two
sucks,
seasons
man.
were good, and that was it for that show.
Yeah.
Like season 3 and 4 are iffy at best.
Yeah, Ryan, you didn't get to the good parts, and then you should just stop before it gets really shitty.
There you go.
Shitty. See, I'm a kind of Go ahead, Alex.
It's just like they're running out of material because George R. R. Martin can't write fast enough, and so they're supplementing it, and they're not as good writers, so it just is getting really shitty. And George R. R. Martin is not very good either.
People. I put a lot of stock in production value because people, you don't really realize like how much like man hours and time and money goes into a show like Game of Thrones, because that's part of the effect of good production value. You don't notice how good it is, but to actually notice how good it is, that means it's like 2 or 3 times the production, that something else might be that you wouldn't notice. So
don't they spend like $6 million per episode?
Something like
So-
that. Something nuts, yeah.
you'd be surprised. HBO still runs out of money. They still, like apparently I don't want to spoil it, but there's a big thing that happens in this latest season, and a lot of the other episodes weren't. Actually, there was like a whole storyline that was kind of crappy because they had to save so much of their budget for that like one scene. So that's kind of what happens. Even on a network like HBO where they have tons of money, they still sometimes run out of money. It takes insane resources to make that show.
Was it the scene where Khaleesi breaks out like the Zippo lighter and she's like, "I'm the Queen of Dragons"? So, I haven't watched past the first episode, Ryan. So like for me, it's not even necessarily like I hate the show, but just the whole idea of the period and the way that it's written and everything like that. Like, spoiler alert, for anybody who's even more in the dark than the two of us, but they push the kid out the window the first episode, and I'm like, and I'm done. Like, I just choose not to be entertained by that kind of shit. Like, you can sort of look the other way for incest and whatever, because, maybe they're just actors and you don't need to worry about it, but you can't get away from the fact that, like, Khaleesi's a teenager, like legitimately in the books, and that they just pushed the kid out the fucking window. So I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna have fun with this show apparently.
No, I think it's like 12 or 13 in the books, but that's part of the whole atmosphere, the whole world that he's creating. It's brutal.
It's historically accurate, which is fine, sure, great, whatever, but there's a lot of shit that's historically accurate, like, armies raping and pillaging and burning down everything, that I just don't find entertaining for 2 hours while I watch some episodes. So, like, let's binge Machiavelli's The Prince, where he shows us how he entertained his troops in, medieval Italy. Like, no thanks, sorry. So, we moved on.
I mean, just to kind of give it to you from another point of view, like in the books, each chapter has a point of view character.
Yeah.
And so what the story is really about is the characters, and the setting and everything else is kind of just like and even a lot of the story is just kind of like a platform for the characters to be on top of. And in order to kind of learn or become enamored by the characters, you have to watch more than 2 or 3 episodes. Really, if by the time you get to the end of the first season, if you're not enjoying it, then you should stop.
I think
That's just my
first
suggestion.
Season, like, at times, but I actually like sat down and watched, because they were all out. I was like, all right, let's do this. So we sat down and watched the first episode, sat down and watched the second episode, and then the third episode, I fell asleep and I never went back. I never went back. But I've watched all of the first season, I think. But, here and there at other people's houses, but it's just not for me. I just don't find it entertaining. I just find Khaleesi so goddamn fucking annoying that I don't want to watch that show. I just find her just annoying. I just can't stand it's the actress herself. It's like the actual actress. Like, you play that character so shitty. She makes me fucking furious. And if she's that dumb in the books, I'm never going to read the books either. Like, it's just annoying, like, the mistakes
She's
she
like
makes.
12 years old. Give her a break, man.
Well, what the fuck? I don't know. I guess they don't portray that enough in the movie, in, like, the TV show. Like, I've never read the books. I didn't know she was supposed to be, 12.
They tried to age her up. They tried to age everybody up because the kids
Yeah,
are way
because
too young.
otherwise
But
it's illegal.
Right.
You
but-
can't film that shit even if you're
I get
HBO.
that.
So
But I didn't. But because of that, you think she's 20.
right.
Just think she's just yeah.
I mean, in the books, I think it's supposed to start that she's 13, and the day she realizes she's pregnant is her 14th birthday. So
Oh shit.
yeah,
All
she's
the
an annoying
kids are
teenager.
that age.
I mean, like Bran was supposed to be like 8 or 9, and they aged him up a little bit more because he's like, you can't do it. But if you're annoyed by Khaleesi, then you shouldn't keep watching because the first season was her best season.
Oh, by far. Like, she's terrible
I
in season
disagree.
4.
I think there are parts later in the show where she's worse. But I think season 2, where she's I guess the end of season 1, beginning of season 2, yeah, she kind of comes into her own.
Yeah, and then she like stops being a person.
I just need Alex, like, on call for hot takes, because that's what she does best. She's like, nope, they're terrible. She's like...
I mean, I tried to read the books in order to understand more of it, but I just couldn't get through his prose. Like, he's good at the storylines, and that's what HBO is getting bad at. He can't do prose that I'm willing to slog through.
Yes, it is. I tried to listen to the books, and it's hard to get through.
Really?
Yeah, it's like wading through mud, man.
When I couldn't read it on my Kindle anymore, I couldn't, like, okay, maybe I'll do the audiobook and that'd be easier. And then the voice actor for that was horrendous. I couldn't listen to it because it was too painful. And he was like mispronouncing people's names and everything.
Yeah,
No,
I hate that shit. Where you're like, man, maybe the audiobook will help, and then it's like saw off both of your feet. You're like, oh god. I mean, honestly, so talking about that, that's the reason why I haven't read Codex Alera, is because going from James Marsters to that gal who's like, she's world famous and everybody loves her and shit, and I could give two fucks, because seriously, man,
it's tough.
I stopped and picked up book 1 multiple times, and then when I realized, like, I'm in book 2 starting out of 5, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'll read them, I'll just read them at some point. So
yeah,
the
the voice actor's pretty terrible for Codex Alera. I've tried to listen to that thing 4 or 5 times. She's got this really like airy British voice. It's just
right.
I
think it's Wheel of Time, right? Like, isn't that her? That's the feather in her cap. Is like
No
she
idea.
did Wheel of Time or something like that. And I'm like, nope, sorry, doesn't matter.
Never listening to that book series.
Right.
I got spoiled by audiobooks from James Marster, listening to him, because he gets so good by the end of it. And those were the first, like, 15 audiobooks I ever listened to, right? And then I started buying these other books, like Snow Crash or, stuff like that. And it's just like, oh my god, these people are horrible at reading books. I just expected them all to be as good as at least as good as the Dresden Files, right?
No, because that's a problem. Like, up until, I don't know, hell, the last 5 years or so almost, audiobooks has just been, we're going to have somebody read you the book.
Yeah.
That's it. Marsters, and then, like, World War Z was one of those outliers as well, because World War Z has multiple, like, voice actors and shit.
Really?
They don't do that. Like, that's my understanding. Anyway, I haven't listened to that one, because that one I did read.
They do have multiple voice actors. It's very well done.
Right, and so, like, that shit is the anomaly because nobody puts in the money for it. Like, the audiobook's an afterthought.
Even though
and
they
so
charge us for it, like, out the nose for it.
Yeah.
Right.
book.
Like $70 or something, depending on the book and shit. Like, it's crazy, but yeah. So it's weird because you start with stuff like Marsters and you think, oh yeah, everything must be this good, but really for the last 30 plus years, it's just all been shit. Marsters is like that little diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I listened to the Dresden Files and then straight into the Harry Potter books. And whoever reads those does an amazing job.
If you listen to the Stephen Fry version, because there's 2 versions out there. And,
Okay.
It's Stephen Fry, that's the one.
I listened to the Stephen Fry version then. So I went from that into like the Necronomicon or whatever from
H.P. Lovecraft?
Neil, what's his name?
Lovecraft?
No, Neil
Gaiman?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. It's like, the reader of that one sucks. So
Yeah, so I'd be careful with listening to the Necronomicon because you might wind up with ghost demons and
Did I say
things
the wrong
coming
book?
in
What
from
book is it? What book is it? The one
the
with
outside.
no, the one with about hacking, about the geniuses in World War II, and it keeps flopping back from the future and the past, and about math. It's a
Okay,
classic.
it's
Imitation
probably
game?
definitely not the Necronomicon, but
Yeah,
I don't
It's
remember what
definitely
it
not
is.
it then.
It's the
It's
one
a
about hacking the.
no.
You're thinking the Enigma, right? So
Oh, it's not the Enigma. Hang on, I'll look it up real quick. Anyway, keep talking.
yeah, it's the Necronomicon. That's a
No, it
way
isn't.
different book.
Way different
I
book.
think it's the imitation game, right? No.
No, it's
No, because that's isn't that Turing? So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
like it's a classic. I don't even know what they're called. Fuck it, y'all got me flustered now because I feel embarrassed 'cause I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Anyway, I'll look it up.
Okay, who the fuck is the voice actor for the Codex Alera? I've been trying to find it, and I actually can't find her name.
I don't. I'll look it up. At least I'll try to find it. It's such great radio as we're all trying to Google this shit.
right?
Yeah.
And
Listen to us type.
narrated by Kate Reading.
Right.
Okay, that's a name I found, but I couldn't see anything of her.
Let's see. She's the Way of Kings, whatever that is. My
Oh, you don't know what that is?
No.
Oh,
The Great
dear.
Hunt. Yeah, she did some Wheel of Time books. She did Wheel of Time.
We have a buddy who like that. All he does is audiobooks, basically. Like he's got the Audible. I can check out 2 books a month type of thing.
Oh wow.
And I mean, it's not a horrible deal when you go to like buy each one individually and shit. But at the same time, like it's like $30 a month, I think. So
Yeah.
it's still pretty spendy for a recurring type of thing. So, but
Hey, pro tip: a lot of times Kindle, if you buy the ebooks from Kindle, you get a discount to just straight up buy the Audible books.
Because
Like
Audible
right
is owned
now.
by Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think I can buy. I don't know. One of the books is like $12 instead of like $35 or $40. So
nice.
You shouldn't do this, but there is an entire torrent site dedicated just to audiobooks. Just saying.
Cryptonomicon.
Don't-
Crypto.
Crypto.
Necronomicon. Yeah,
What did
that
I
makes
say?
more sense. You said
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon, which is
Yeah,
like the
H.P.
Book of the Dead.
Lovecraft. Yeah.
So, you know, yeah.
Oh, this is Neil Stevenson.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Even
But yeah, so kids, for those listening at home, piracy is bad. Don't do drugs. Stay in school.
stay in
you know.
school. Yeah.
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 Drink and drive.
Right.
Definitely don't do that.
Yeah, actually, don't do that.
Don't actually do
The
that.
rest of that was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Get an Uber. It's way cheaper than death.
Right.
Or the ticket. Gosh damn, get pulled over, see what happens. It's like 10 grand here in Texas or something.
So it looks like other Alex wants to talk about favorite video games.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about our top favorite
Let's
movies.
do overrated video games.
Okay.
Anyone got that?
Well, we can do both, overrated and favorite.
All right.
Oh man.
What's your favorite then, Alex, since you asked? You got something to start us
Well,
off with?
actually, I hate to repeat what I said before, but it's actually
Boo.
kind of skyrocketed up into like. So there's like 2 or 3 games that I would call my favorite games of all time, and that's one of them, Life is Strange. The other one, the game that kind of got me started as like a gamer, in kind of more serious, is from 1999 Unreal Tournament.
Oh, unreal,
Yes.
man.
You
Love
You
that.
say that like we wouldn't know what it is.
So
So
lots of people don't. Lots of people
You
don't.
didn't know what Ferris Bueller's Day Off was.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
Unreal Tournament?
So
you have. So they've got these
Wait,
things
wait,
that sit on
like,
your desk. They're computers. And
Oh, I
then-
have computers. I've played
Yeah.
computers. I have no idea what you're talking about, though.
Let me explain.
Quake?
So, yeah, if you go way back to like Doom, which is like one of the first person shooter games. After that, you know, the genre kind of got more and more popular, and there was Quake, and then there was Unreal Tournament, and Quake and Unreal Tournament were kind of like rivals games with each other. Some people played Quake, some people played Unreal Tournament, and then Counter-Strike, and then that kind of took off into its own thing. So,
Which
but
is
these
What Call of Duty nerds played first, so
no, Call of Duty's
this is the original like multiplayer is the main game. Let's go murder each other with high tech weaponry and shit.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, lasers, railguns, plasma rifles.
right?
In a very
So-
fast-paced multiplayer PvP.
called a
kind
Switch
of
shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where
called Switch.
because like Call of Duty is slower, so if you aren't as fast to aim your gun and shoot somebody, you might not necessarily lose. But in these kinds of games like Counter Strike and Unreal Tournament, you have to be fast, and that requires a certain modicum of time investment to practice the game. So people who spend a lot of time playing are better than people who don't.
Yeah, there's a definitely you can show a skill gap.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
if you're
big
better at
time.
the game, you win. Like there's just no doubt about it every time.
Another game like that came out recently is Rocket League. That's one of the first games in a long time that
That's a real skills game.
yeah,
Yeah, that game's
you
hard.
actually have to practice.
Yeah, that game's hard.
Yeah. And there's
It's
like
fun. It's so simple.
yeah, exactly.
It is.
Overrated game?
I was not prepared for that question. Come back to
You
me.
can't just throw the gauntlet out and then not
I'll
have
think of
something.
one. Come back to me.
All right, we'll come back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna throw out the gauntlet with my overrated game.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
The first
the fun?
N64 Zelda.
Really? Ocarina of Time?
I did not think it
You're
was
gonna
very
hate
good.
on Ocarina of Time.
Yes,
No,
I
you're
think
not
it's
the
over.
like-
first person to say that's
What
over.
the? He's not an actual gamer though, y'all. Don't listen to this fool.
No, lots of
Right.
people think the
I
combat
have a
was
confession to
stale.
make.
Uh-huh.
The combat was
Never
awesome.
played Zelda. I have never in
Fuck
my life played
off.
Zelda.
Hang up on her, Jacob. Get her out of this call.
Like,
I'm not playing.
I'm-
Quick, hang up on her.
right. So I think I'm learning about Alex that like we've given her some nerd cred here, but you're one of the book nerds, right? So you're one of those rare kinds of nerds where like everything you do exists in a book.
No.
Heaven forbid
I
seeing
also
a
got
movie.
pretty nerdy about specific video games, but here's the thing. One, I'm several years younger than all of you. I'm 22, so I think Alex is the next one who's youngest, but I never had a console growing up. I went from nothing to a laptop.
Oh,
They have emulators.
get
Right.
out.
Yeah, I've played
She's
around
like,
with some emulators, but not much, and I don't have any on my computer. I'd have to steal my husband's computer, and I just feel so guilty doing that.
Right.
I'll come to director Alex's defense. She's a serious Civ 5 player. So
Not really.
That's-
Not Civ 5,
Well,
actually.
Alex, stop when you're at.
I mean, you guys did get me on Civ, so there's that. But
Yeah, I have not. Like, I have that game, and I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
you
What, Civ?
shouldn't, because for the love of God, it was
You don't even know what
$12.
the hell's going on until you've played 200 hours. Like you don't even
Right.
barely know what the hell. Barely. Like, and that's like 5 games. 200
Yeah.
hours is like 5 games.
There's
Right.
been a couple of nights where it was like 11 o'clock, and I was like, I'll start a Civ game. And then
yeah.
it's like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'm like, that was a terrible idea.
8 freaking hours the first time we played.
Yeah,
Like,
it
what's
just
wrong
kept
with
going. And it was funny because I was like, Justin, should we stop now? And he was like, no. And then like an hour later, he'd be like, Alex, should we stop now? And I'd be like, no.
No.
And it just keep going back and forth.
Well, that was like the first time I blew off an assignment in my whole college career, and I was
Yeah.
the hell I'm not going to like milk this for everything. But then the sun comes up, and you're like, I have made a terrible mistake.
Oops. Yep.
Yeah.
When it comes to favorite games, though, recently is Dota. I put in a lot of time into Dota. I'm about 1,100 hours in now, which is a little sad. Saying that, I feel a little dirty about it, but
That's one of like the classics. That game is literally like 20 years old, more maybe. It's a very old game. Dota 2 isn't 20 years old.
yeah, I mean, I'm
Dota.
playing Dota too.
Yeah.
But if we want to go old school, gotta go like Myst. Love that game.
There's an overrated.
What?
Sorry, this is like that game just freaks me out so bad. I can't.
It was weird how creepy that game was for nothing ever happening in it.
The ambiance was fantastic. Yeah, it was legit creepy.
It was legit creepy. There was times where you're like, fuck this, turn the lights on.
And I gotta, because I'm a huge adventure game fan, I gotta throw out King's Quest. I love King's Quest. Like, the entire series is fantastic. I mean, anything past 6 is Well, terrible, but the new one's good though.
Ah,
I think we lost the other
Alex?
Alex.
Director Alex?
No, we had
I'm
director
here.
Alex.
Is he
Well,
back?
Is other Alex? Is new Alex here?
For once, it's not her. So
Yeah, I bought an Ethernet cord to be a better podcast person. Yay!
good job.
That's commitment, y'all.
That is
That
commitment.
is commitment.
Like
She is-
$8.
And
She's
then
showing you
Justin's
what's
sending
up.
me a better mic, so I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm leveling.
Like an RPG.
Yeah.
It happens. It's like it's addicting. You just like watching things. You're like, ooh, that'd be cool for the podcast.
Oh yeah, I do it
Like-
so bad.
Like I started out with the headset, and then I got Ryan his headset, and then I got the Yeti from the Snowball, and like the mic stand because like I got the whole like arm thing going on with my mic. Yeah, I got kind of into it, just a little bit.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
the same thing.
It's easy to do.
I've got a
so-
full blown production setup. Like if I put myself like in a studio surrounding, like you could record. Like it's incredible.
And I think we have completely lost Alex.
Yeah, we have completely
like
lost Alex then. So we'll just skip
He'll
that.
be back.
Justin, favorite game?
Ooh, well, it was funny because you brought up Dota and you were like, "Man, I played like 1,100 hours," and I'm like, "I don't want to talk about how many hours I've played games, but favorite game." Recently, I've been tearing up Diablo 3. I think games is another one of those like flavor of the moment type of things.
Yeah.
With the new season, Buddy and I have gotten into it pretty hardcore, but literally going off of hours played, I think one of my favorites of all time is Left 4 Dead 2. It's not
Really?
it's not stayed up to snuff, and it's not like I play anymore. But between my brother and I, because we shared the same account for a little while, but we played 22 or 2,300 hours straight up. It was like every Friday waiting for the now wife to get off of work from her holy crap bartending job. Like there was 4 or 5 hours playing that at least, and that was my slow time. I mean, I guess if we wanted to get crazy, I could go back to my MMO days where I played Dungeons Dragons Online, and I played that one for like 6 years. But I'm a zombie guy, so that was a really quick. You can play a shooter for half an hour to an hour and be just fine.
Do you like the Call
I
of
had a
Duty
lot of
zombies?
fun with that. I want to play it, but the Call of Duty crowd kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in on that one, and I'm like,
Different
eh.
zombies. Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
different
for
type.
sure. So I've seen some of the videos and stuff, but I'm waiting for them to hopefully do a third one, probably right after they do Half-Life 3, so the 5th of Never.
Oh, yeah, that'll be real soon.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll be after. So George R. Martin will release his next book. Then Half-Life
Right.
3 will come out.
Yeah.
Then
Hell
the
Free's
heat death of the
over.
universe, and
Yeah.
then
You
Left 4
know-
Dead 3. So
Gabe Newell, the head of Valve, has straight up said there isn't going to be a Half-Life 3. He said it.
But they've also trademarked the name, which shows that they might be working on it.
There's going to be a new Source engine, but I don't know if and there'll probably be a new Half-Life game, but I don't know if it's going to be Half-Life 3.
look, I don't care if Gabe's got to die. God rest his soul. But there's gonna be a Half-Life 3. That's just it's one of those things. The sun will eventually consume the Earth and then explode. Then there will be a Half-Life 3. That's gonna be how it is.
Okay, most overrated game.
Oh man.
Ever?
In your
I don't
opinion.
know. I gotta say, if you're going all the way back to Myst was one that I never ever got into, and so that'll be an easy one to just be. I'm sorry, it was a moving book,
God, it was so
that's an easy one to throw down.
Yeah. I didn't get to say because I cut out there that I lost sound. Myst just freaks me the fuck out. I can't play that game. I don't know why. It's like, first of all, there's guys with fuzzy voices trying to talk to you from books, and the whole game is about making their voices clearer, right? That's how you finish the game, is eventually being able to hear what they're saying. That's fucking weird. I don't know. Myst is just weird.
Well, you actually end up starting to communicate with them. You're trying to free them from the book.
Yeah.
Or,
That would freak me the fuck out. I just
it's a
be like,
good,
okay,
it's a
I'm
good
gonna
game.
go.
It is creepy though.
I'm gonna go over to the other side of this place now. Goodbye. Yeah. No, but I do understand the merit of that game. Actually, have you guys checked out The Witness?
Yep, I bought it this weekend.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the modern version of Myst.
It's
Yeah, it is.
good.
I
I had
watched.
some weird screen issues with it, so I haven't been able to play too much of it, but working on fixing it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good one. So, Director Alex, your turn.
Okay, the favorite one is easy because I sunk way too many hours in that. I have no idea how many because I don't have a convenient counter like Steam does, but Morrowind. I got a copy of that when I was 7, and I pretty much never stopped playing it. I haven't played it much lately, but yeah, I sunk
Nice.
too many hours in that.
That was one of those real giant open world RPGs, and it
Yeah.
didn't have any directive. You didn't have to do anything necessary. You could just go kill people. You could go steal stuff. You could go. Yeah, that game was incredible.
And it was such an interesting world too. Like
It
fucking
was.
mushroom trees. I
Yeah,
couldn't get over that. I loved it.
the one where you could walk. I was walking down the road, and a guy comes flying through the trees, and he lands. I was like, "What the hell?" And you go over there, and you read, and he's got a spell book. And
Yeah.
it's got 4 uses for like extra long jump or whatever, and it's got this
Yeah.
whole little note about him explain. I was like, "What the hell?" So as you do, I tried one of the spells. It did the exact same thing he did. Whoosh! You fly across most of the map, and then you fly through the trees and die. I was like, "Well, should have expected that." You know what I mean? The game was
One
fun.
of my
like that.
goals always when I was playing a character is like level up enough that I could take one of those spells, land without any preparation, and survive it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good game. Overrated games? Do you have any games that everybody talks about that you're just like, ah, fuck off?
I'm a little afraid to say it.
Let's hear it.
Kind of the recent Fallout games.
Yeah, yeah. The new one? Or the
Uh,
Fallout 3 included?
Fallout 3 included.
Ah,
Because
fuck off!
I think Bethesda fucked it up. I mean,
Really?
I think Morrowind was the best game they ever came out with, and then after that, they've just been going downhill. They
Oh,
took away
she's biased. You
all
hear it. You
of
hear the bias right there.
good writers, and I'm just like, ugh.
Well, I'm gonna be on your side a little bit here. So I literally own the Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition and New Vegas because of some Steam sale, and I made it all the way through character creation and got outside the vault, and I'm like, what the ever loving fuck is this? And I just realized, like, I was expecting more of a Mass Effect style RPG in the sense that, like, there will be a lot of shooting, and then occasionally I'll have some story that's cool. But really, it's like a straight up. So you've got to worry about like food and drinking and shit, and like your backpack gets full. And I was like, I just spent an hour building a character, and I would like to play the game now. And
no.
I need to go back and do it because Fallout, like, the world again is one of those where I'm just super excited about it, and like I'm interested, and I watch a lot of the Fallout 4 gameplay and that sort of thing. But after spending an hour going through growing up and shit in Fallout 3, and I was like, what the hell is this? So
I mean, that's kind of like the world was really cool, but I think that Bethesda's fucking it up because when it wasn't made by Bethesda, it was very different, and now they're trying to retcon certain things, like the Brotherhood of Steel being where they shouldn't be.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
New
no,
Vegas was fantastic. I love that one, but that wasn't made by Bethesda, and they don't have any good writers anymore. They like the guy who made Morrowind so unique and exotic is not there anymore,
Right.
and that's my problem with it.
You brought it, Justin. You brought up another game that's in my like top 5 overrated is the Mass Effect games. Like I think I don't think they're very good. They are not entertaining at all.
I'm gonna give you Mass Effect 3 because that was a huge letdown, and not just because of the story. Like, there were several things that just kind of disappointed me in that game, and I don't play the DLC because I'm not gonna go spend another $60 to figure out the rest of the story and shit. But Mass Effect 1 and 2 were, to me, they were like picking up BioShock for the first time. Like, it was just like, holy shit, this is amazing. And the idea that you might actually be able to carry your decisions through finally for reals this time, that was what kind of sold me. And then they're like, you know how we've been doing that for like the last 3 to 5 years? We were just fucking with you. So here's Mass Effect 3. And I'm like, what? So I just, anyway. So, like, if you look at it for the whole arc, maybe, but I really dug Mass Effect 1 and 2. And, like, those are even, I've gone back and replayed them since, you know, I just liked them that much. So.
Yeah, the one I feel like that about is Dragon Age. Dragon Age 1 Origins, I loved it. It was like crack for me for a while. I sunk like a couple of months into it when I had to be focusing on school and stuff. And Dragon Age 2 is just pathetic. Eh.
Bioshock did that. But they redeemed it with Infinite.
Yeah, they did redeem it with Infinite. Bioshock 2 was terrible.
Terrible.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bioshock Infinite was bad.
Yeah,
No, they redeemed it. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bioshock 2
Bioshock-
was not great, but Infinite wasn't. I don't know. I didn't feel that it was part of the. Like, they tried really hard to shoehorn it in, but there's no decisions that you make in the entire game, which is another one of the things that, like, Bioshock 1 was kind of about. Like, sure, it's not the main theme of the story or anything, but,
Right.
you know, Bioshock 1, you had 3 different endings, whatever. Bioshock 2, you had, like, 16. Bioshock Infinite, you get nothing and you'll like it. You know? So it was just like, okay. So, like, we'll make you make choices, but that shit doesn't matter. It was just the illusion of choice, you know.
Like Fallout 4.
I hear Fallout 4, you can play the whole game without actually ever doing the quest, so, you know.
It's a stupid game. Shit makes you so mad. I built a computer for that game.
Oh, that's rough.
Anyway, so I guess I'll do my favorite games.
Sure.
Currently playing Binding of Isaac. I have put probably 200 hours into Binding of Isaac in the last month and a half. Like, a lot of Binding of Isaac. I love that game. Favorite game of all time ever has to be Fallout 3 or Majora's Mask. So, whatever.
Majora's Mask.
Fuck off, okay?
That's another one of those games that freaks me out. The fucking
Majora's
moon,
Mask is so good.
moon face just stares at you. It's getting closer and closer.
So, overrated game?
Me?
Yeah.
Sonic.
Wait, whoa. Which Sonic?
Yeah,
Okay,
Sonic, the original Sonic.
All
Yeah, the one that
Sonic?
made-
All of
the
it.
one that made Sega a fucking franchise. That game
are you-
sucks.
Are you one of those people who's like, every time I stop my momentum, the game is bad?
No, I just don't like the way it worked. I don't like the mechanic. I just felt, yeah. I just feel like I just didn't like Sega as a brand actually. Like that just goes into like I just don't like Sega.
Oh, you're wrong, and you should feel bad about being so wrong. Sega
Whatever.
was so much better than SNES.
You're
I love Genesis.
Sega's so good, that's why they're still around and making blockbuster games and everything. So
yeah, like
sorry,
Nintendo, right?
like the market kind of spoke on that one, I think.
You're all wrong, okay? It's just
I'll
a...
take my Sega Genesis and go home.
Justin, you sound like a dying robot. You want to try the mic again?
All right, new Alex, you never came up with your
Yeah.
overrated...
I think the most overrated game I've ever played was Spec Ops: The Line. Have you guys heard of that?
Uh-uh.
It's
Pretty
like this.
Spec Ops.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like I can't remember it's first person or third person, and it's really it's weird because I'm playing it and I'm like, this is one of the most terrible games I've ever played. This is horrible. Like the story is just so unbelievable and shitty. And I'm playing it, and then I'm talking to my friends, and I'm looking it up online, and people are saying how it's like a great game, it's amazing. And I'm like, is this like a big joke? Is this like an internet thing where they're joking? But apparently people really like the game. It's, I don't know. I mean, I would say give it a try. Yeah. Spec Ops: The Line.
Ugh. Good times, good times. So,
So you want to do my
oh,
recommend-
yeah, we should definitely do your recommends. What do you recommend for us this week, Ryan?
This is inspired by my little brother, right? So a bunch of his friends went to PAX South, and they've been planning it for months, right? And then he learns about it because he hasn't been actually part of that group of friends for a while. But he starts playing the same game they're playing. So he gets on their team. They start talking shit. He learns that they're going to PAX South, and he says, "Fuck it, I'm going to PAX South with y'all." So he just goes down there, and while he's down there, he goes to a Morton Steakhouse. And it just reminded me that occasionally you just need to indulge. Just blow some money and go eat a nice steak or do something that's just really, not worth it, right? Like a steak Morton's at Steakhouse isn't really worth it, but it kind of is, on those rare occasions. So I'm just going to recommend that on occasion, don't forget to indulge and reward yourself for just enjoy life. We're all gonna die, and you should spend some of that shit before you do. Just that.
Yeah, those Morton steaks will run you about $60, $70.
Yeah, he took a picture of he did a whole Snapchat thing, but the menu, I was like, oh wow, you could spend some money there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can get some money. He said it was really good. The butter was good. The salad, it was all.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I'm recommending.
We
Every once in a while, dress up a little bit, go eat a fucking good dinner, drink a beer or two, get laid. Have a good night.
we went to Ruth's Chris. When for 4 people spent $250 with no booze.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. Me and Ashley did $130 at Papado's.
Oh, that's doable. But you were drinking too, huh?
We had 2 drinks each.
Yeah.
But
That definitely cranks it. The most I've ever spent on a dinner was like $290, $300. It was Valentine's Day, and I took, girlfriend at the time, now wife, to the melting pot. And we were there for like 3 hours. And we were boozing, we were eating, and we didn't care. Like,
Yeah.
I was flush with cash. It's like, screw it, we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want. And
Yeah.
I think after tip, it ended up being about $300.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you got any interesting tidbits of trivianology?
No.
Something weird. You suck at this game.
I know.
You have a whole fucking week.
I know. I've been trying to think about it. I've been really trying.
Come on, Justin, save us again this time. Give us something
House
interesting.
hunting sucks. That's your tidbit of trivia knowledge. I adulted so hard today, I actually put an offer on a house.
Wow.
Damn.
I don't know if I can adult anymore for the rest of the week. I think I've reached my adulting limit.
You're done, right?
I'm done.
Now we're just gonna eat cereal out of Tupperware bowls and watch cartoons for a fucking week till I get my next paycheck. I'm not doing shit.
If only. If only.
Yeah, right. So,
We are getting into, well over an hour at this point. So, unless y'all want to talk about anything specific, probably start wrapping it up. It's been a nice breezy evening. So, anyone have anything else, or are we about ready to call it a night?
Well, you had those links that you sent us if you want to go over those really quick.
We could, yeah. Well, I'll talk at least about Starry. So, do y'all...
post it in Skype.
Huh?
Post it in Skype. I didn't see it in the email chain.
Okay. So, Starry is a new type of internet service launching in Boston from the guy who did Aereo. Do y'all remember that startup?
That's my hero.
They were recording television that was broadcast over the air and digitizing it and reselling it to consumers. And they got sued so much they actually took it to the Supreme Court and they lost.
Damn.
So, but it's that guy, and what they're doing is they're trying to do over-the-air gigabit internet. So you put like a dish outside your house, and they're using millimeter bandwidth, which is free or cheap, like super cheap. They're saying they can probably do it for $50, like $50 a month, gigabit internet over the air. So
Interesting.
that I thought that was pretty cool. They might actually be able to like change the game if they do it.
I don't see where it says. Actually, did you know AT&T expects in the next 10 years that nothing will be on copper? I was talking to one of the AT&T phone guys that was working on one of the jobs I was working on, and they think in 10 to 15 years they won't use copper. Everything will be wireless.
Really?
Yeah, they really do. They're really abandoned. That's why they're not doing much service on their copper.
Or fiber.
Yeah.
Because they can double down on, like, all mobile services. Obviously, it's wireless, so they can feed mobile service off the same stuff that they're feeding home service off of.
Yeah, that's why they're not even doing fiber either. That's one of the reasons. Yeah. But I'm curious to see what's the distance. Like, is there line of sight issues?
There is some line of sight issues. They're gonna have to create an array inside of cities. Right now,
like a Z-Wave system. Everything talks to each other.
kind of, and they're saying like right now the issue is millimeter waves have about a 200 to 500 meter range,
Yeah,
and they're saying they can get up to 1.5 kilometers.
really, really powerful.
Really powerful. So, that's why we're all going to have cancer.
Yeah, don't stand
Yeah.
close to this thing. You can cook eggs.
It's like gigantic microwaves.
Yeah. It makes a noise. The air vibrates. Like, is that good? It's fine. It's fine. You got fast internet. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
pretty.
if you sleep with your phone next to you, that's microwaves, right?
Is it
I have put
microwave?
it under my pillow to shut it up before
Yep.
and fallen asleep.
People actually say you're supposed to not put your phone directly against your skin. You're supposed to like hold it a few inches away from your ears, and yeah.
I bet they're right.
They're probably right.
This is really cool though. I always like seeing competition towards the ISPs like Google Fiber, and I mean, if it wasn't by that guy who did Arrow, I would say this is probably BS. But
Right, and
guy's
that's why
that
I'm
guy's
really
a-
interested in it.
That guy is a straight up genius, and he's So we'll see.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Maybe in the next couple of years, we'll all have gigabit internet.
Yeah,
For
except for
super
if you
cheap.
live in the country. If you live more than a kilometer away from somebody, you're screwed. I'm surprised they haven't done some type of like the balloon technology that everybody talks about, like putting up a bunch of balloons in the jet stream or something that allows you to access, that Google wireless internet
Yeah,
stuff.
that's Google. That's for like third world countries, areas where they don't have internet, and it's like super slow. Like
Yeah, it
2G.
isn't like 2G edge kind of speeds.
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
It is a cool thing, though.
Yeah.
Any of those links in there, Alex, that you wanted to talk about?
Which Alex?
Director Alex, you.
Can we gripe about the reaction videos thing?
Oh yeah, about the Fine Bros.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh Jesus!
You want to take the reins, or you want me
Yeah,
to
go
bitch
for it.
about this one?
Who?
Go, Alex.
I was just talking
You-
shit about this too. But
I don't know much about this except for what I've seen popularized on Reddit, and this article is just so people have reaction videos, and these one guys have tons more, and they've copyrighted some shit. Now they're trying to copyright reaction videos in general and abuse how YouTube does the copyright report system. And it's just I don't even know who these people are. I didn't hear of them before a couple of days ago, but I want them to be crucified.
right, absolutely.
Like medieval Testament style?
Yeah, we could draw
like
it for
Romans?
them. I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
the
draw
Pine
it for them.
Bros have actually been around for a long time. They were some of like the. I think they were some of like the original.
You know those
beginning
those
movies.
videos where they have teenagers like try to put a cassette in a cassette player. Like they get like 14-year-olds and they'll record the reaction videos of like what are they doing here? And the guys are like, I don't know. Or they have like 14-year-olds try on Jinko pants and they record the reaction. Like what the fuck are these? It's that kind of videos. Or old people smoke weed for the first time. You ever seen those on YouTube?
Yeah, yeah.
That's those guys. Those are the guys who popularized that genre.
Yeah.
They're copywriting that style of video.
Yeah,
Not
it's
gonna be
not
able
their
to-
logo or anything. It's just the style. If you have a reaction video of anything, they'll
Yeah.
sue you. And
Well, so because I actually they did an update today, and I've been kind of trying to follow this closely. I think part of it is they did not explain it well, but also part of it is they're assholes. They're definitely being dicks about it. They actually are trying to trademark the word react.
Yeah,
And have
react
it be like a
and
part of-
opinions.
Yeah, so they're not actually copywriting anything. They're trying to trademark, right? I think what they're copywriting is their brand, basically. So
it's not
if,
a new word. It's not like they're copywriting the word Google when they made it up.
right,
It's a word in the English
it's
language.
really dumb, and
They're
it's
not copywriting the actual word. They're trademarking the word inside of the YouTube universe. So inside of the YouTube universe, if you use React as part of your title for your video, you're going to be infringing on their trademarks or opinions or versus, like people versus technology. Like a lot of things they're trying to trademark, not just React. It's not just that. And it is a straight money grab. Like they're just shitty people. Like that guy that bought the what was it, cancer medicine that was $7 and now it's 1,000.
Yeah,
yeah,
really.
Scarelli.
It's the same
No,
thing.
the actual word that they're trying to trade. They're actually trying to file a trademark for the word React. This is actually there's like a screenshot of the in that article, and yeah, and so it's actually up for. There's like a period of where the public can oppose the trademark. So go ahead and do that. It's pretty messed up. And then what? So really, what the problem is that they're saying like they're only gonna go after people. By go after, they mean send takedown requests to people who are using their style or it. The problem is they don't define what their thing is.
Yeah, so
Very
they can apply
clearly.
it to everyone.
Exactly. And like people keep asking like what is they keep saying our structure and people keep asking like what is the structure? Can you list out in defined words what it is that we can't that would be infringing, and they literally can't do that. And that's the problem.
They need a
Yeah,
lawyer.
that is the problem. Oh, they have lawyers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know they've got money. I
No,
understand.
they really need to do is stop doing or
Yes.
or at least like 100% say we will never ever go after you if you do a React video. That's what they're kind of trying to say that, but they're really not saying that. And the doublespeak is what people really are getting turned off
But they
by.
said in their video, which I only know because I watched Critical's reaction to their reaction announcement thing, which is hilarious. But they said, like, if you see other people doing these React things, then you need to take it down because it's hurting the community. So they're telling people to go after others.
Yeah, they did an update today. I think it was today. It was either today or yesterday. And if you watch that, they try and kind of go back on what they said, and they were like, "Guys, we explained it badly." The real problem is that Microsoft, the same thing happened to them when they released the Xbox One. Like, yeah, there was some shitty policies that they were trying to push through, but the real problem was their messaging was bad. They
No,
didn't.
it wasn't. It was. I don't care how you wrap that up. If you told me that my Xbox had to stay online all the time to play a fucking game that I bought that was a CD from Walmart, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous. That's not.
there's a
You
lo-
can't
no,
package
it's-
that in a way that I'm going to be happy about it. The same way
There's
you can't package these fine bros telling me that they can trademark the word React.
Well,
Like, that's just
there are two
ridiculous.
different scenarios. Like the Fine Bros are
But-
just really fucking wrong. But with specifically with the Xbox, there's actually a lot of benefits that come with having to be on 100% of the time.
No, there isn't.
If developers
No, there
know
isn't.
that the game
There
has
might be
to connect
benefits to
100%.
having it online,
If the
but
developers
you
know
should
that
also
the
have the
game has to
choice
be-
to take it off.
Yeah,
That-
if I can't take my Xbox to
Not
play,
against it.
if I can't take it to my grandmother's to play during Christmas when all the fucking parents are bothering me, and she doesn't have internet or it's so shitty that I can't really connect to it, and I can't play it, like that's, I don't know, and fuck that.
That's one side of the argument. The other side is now the developers can't put in features in the game that require the game to be online because there are people who want to play it offline. There are two sides to that argument.
What features
So-
Those
are
features
so important?
should just not work. Like if you're talking about like knowing the actual weather in your GTA 5 cell phone, it
There
just
was a-
shouldn't work.
There was a lot of stuff, specifically on the Microsoft platform, they were trying to do with like offloading CPU processes and stuff, so they could do a lot of the
Yeah,
processing.
cloud-based CPU.
Yeah,
But
and they
that'll
can't
still
do
work.
that. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, right,
If the
like
game's not online, they can't count on that.
so some
not being
games.
available.
So the
See what
idea
I'm
that
saying?
some
There
games
are
can
two
copy-
sides. It's a greater issue than it like emphatically is. It's a greater issue than good or bad. That's not really the point.
Right,
Is
the-
Microsoft didn't do
yeah.
a good. They didn't talk about enough about the good parts of it, and
I don't see how the fines are going to sell me on the good parts of this.
of
thing.
course there really is no example. I guess I could bring up that because just fucking
No, it's just them being shit. You can bring up
Really
examples of other human beings being
Yeah.
shitty.
yeah.
Yeah, like the
I mean,
cancer medicine guy.
In the end, part of what they're trying to do is give people, like, share their platform and their popularity with people. So, like, if they put your video on their channel, you're going to get way more views than if you have your own channel, probably, because they're the most watched React video channel on YouTube.
Okay, that
So-
doesn't require a trademark name.
Sure, I agree, totally. They should cut out all that other
Exactly.
shit and just focus on the put videos on our
Yeah,
platform.
make partnership deals.
Yeah. Definitely fucked up.
Any fuck them. Money grabbing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going back to the Microsoft thing. Like, when they first announced all that stuff, I totally agreed with you. Like, it was shitty that they were like, you have to keep the game, you have to keep it plugged in. And then they tried to say like, oh well, it'll only have to be plugged in once, and then we'll know that it's online. And they just kept going back and back and back until eventually they
So
said,
if you wanted to sell me a game that was like unbelievably powerful because it had cloud-based CPU,
yeah,
then you should sell me that game under that like premise. Like it should make sense to me. I guess I'm hardcore enough that I would read the fine print and know it was.
yeah.
And there's the people who would buy it and then be disappointed when they had to have internet.
I mean, that's just one of the things that being online all the time gives you. There's probably way others that, you know.
Yeah, that's a cost to benefit thing, and I get really frustrated when Steam won't let me play a game.
Yeah, and people forget how shitty Steam was when it first came out. It was down all the time. It was shitty, but it's changed the world. You can't even imagine a world without Steam now. So,
I like GOG.
Yeah, GOG solid.
story about GOG. I bought The Witcher 3 from them because I was from some discount site that was giving GOG keys, and when I moved my computer from Windows 7 to Windows 10, I lost my save file. It was probably like 20 hours which isn't that much, but just totally had to. It was like, okay, you have to start over because they didn't have cloud saves like Steam does. Like, I didn't even think about it. I totally took that. Like, I was just like, oh, there must be cloud saves. I'll just open the game up and it'll be fine. But
No, you're hardly connected to GOG once you play the game.
they actually released I don't know if it's still in beta, but they have their own like desktop app now.
They do.
Yeah, Galaxy.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be building in cloud support for that. So, we'll see. But I do like the idea behind GOG. I do.
Yeah, full DRM free.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how they buy old games and clean them up.
Yeah, make them playable.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they eventually release SWAT 4. I really want to play that game again.
Oh, the SWAT games, man. Those are old school. You want to talk old school, man. That's old school.
Yeah, SWAT 4 was amazing. It was like, there was like non-lethal takedowns, and like, you could like taser people, or you could just get your handcuffs. Similar to the Rainbow Six.
Siege.
No. The games before that. This was Rainbow Six New something Vegas.
Yeah, I do. I was New Vegas too, but I couldn't figure it out. I was like, that's
I think
not right.
Is it Las Vegas?
I think
Anyway,
it's Las Vegas. Yeah, Rainbow
yeah.
Six Las Vegas.
They did Las Vegas and Las Vegas 2, and those were. So the thing about I keep saying the thing about Siege, that game's a huge disappointment. I don't know. Did you guys play that?
It's just too small.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Like, why are all modern games like so small? They feel like a 200-page book nowadays instead of
because they know they can leverage the IP to make people buy the game even if there's no content.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, I miss N64 games that were 200 megabits that felt like a full series of novels, and now we get to these that are 43 gigabytes, and you can play. There's like 2 levels. It's like 4 classes and 2 levels. You're like, what the fuck is this? This is a demo. In the 90s, this would have been a demo.
Well,
Yeah.
talking about I don't know if you guys are like trying to end the show. I don't want to keep talking, but talking about like always online, that's another one of the benefits, because now developers can add content to a game because they know that you're going to be
Yeah,
able
for
to
$30, you can download this.
No, not always. Like
Absolutely.
Mario Maker and Splatoon both recently, especially Splatoon. When that came out, people were like, there's no content here. There's like 3 maps. And then they added more and more guns and more maps, and it became like one of the best games of the year.
What happened to
GTA
games
5
being
did that too.
finished, like actually done when people could buy them? I miss that time.
But that's the thing. Like,
I missed that
again,
time
like, there's an up and down to a lot of these situations. The upside of being able to release content after the game is officially released is they can respond to player feedback.
Yeah, that is a good thing. I agree. I don't mind the DLCs, but they should be DLCs like Witcher 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you get Witcher 3, you get a full fucking game that you can play for a year. Or like Skyrim. Like Skyrim is the perfect examples of how to do a DLC.
Yeah.
You get a game that people you've been playing for 4 years and never finished the main quest, and then you can add a whole new, almost the same amount of content again with DLCs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, those CD Projekt Red and Bethesda. They're like some of the best game companies out there, really.
Well, fucking step up. God damn it. Spending billions of dollars and you can't make us a game?
CD
I-
Projekt
I-
Red
I-
is
Hollywood.
like an indie company in Poland, and they put out fantastic games.
Right.
Yeah.
And but like, why can't the other big companies do just as well as they did?
Well, I think part of the problem is like Ubisoft. They're working on like 5 gigantic. Why do you give me that look for? You like roll your eyes. They work on like 5 gigantic titles a year, and
They
again,
can't get any of them nice.
I mean,
You know, I've actually
it's-
put a
it's
lot
really
of I've put a lot of thought into why games suck nowadays. Like, why back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, could you get a game that was just unbelievably good, right? Like there's just all of the real gems seem to have come from a time in the past, right? I think it was because the games weren't so difficult to program that you had less delusion of responsibility and people putting their dirty fingers in it. Back in the day, Doom was wrote by like 4 people or something, right? Like one main guy wrote it. Like one person could make a whole video game. So you could get like an actual piece of artwork that one person got to decide. They got to take a chance. It's like either this is going to be great because I loved it and this is exactly what I wanted to bring into the universe, and it succeeds because everybody else is like, wow, this is one of the coolest things ever, or it flops. But you got those games back in the day that were just so good. Like Half-Life, Counter-Strike. Didn't one guy just mod Half-Life?
Yeah, so I understand. I kind of understand I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, because of because of online platforms and digital distribution, it's easier than ever for
Right.
smaller indie
That's
companies
true.
to.
Well,
But
you're-
like
you're-
Under-
really the great games that have played recently.
Yeah, like
Papers,
Undertale.
Please. Yeah,
Undertale was made by one guy, pretty much.
right.
Well, see, you're bouncing up against the real issue, Ryan. Is AAA games are so expensive now
Mhm.
that they have to churn out a mass-produced product to make money because it's so
Yeah.
expensive to make them. Where your indie games and your older games, you could do it with a couple of people and that's fine.
Hmm.
I
I just find that's where the more enjoyable games come from, though. It's like modern day indie games and the older games are actual, to me, like games. Like I'm actually playing something. I like Papers, Please, or Punch Club. I feel like one person probably made that for a college, project or something, and it just turns out to be an amazing game. I don't know. That just
You guys played Needhog?
Which one?
Needhog?
No.
Niddhog. Oh, you got to get that. It's so good. That's another like indie game. It's really good. That's a good one. Needhog.
Need?
Needhog. It's on Steam. If you just type in Niddhog, or I could, yeah, like that. It's really good. That's like more. That's a multiplayer game. You want to have at least another person
Okay.
to play.
Oh, it's this game.
Yeah.
I've seen this game a lot. I just
Yeah.
never actually played it.
But it's actually really interesting that we bring this up about indie games because there's in the past year, Ubisoft came out with Grow Home, and I think Square Enix came out with Life is Strange, and this year EA is doing Unravel, and they're all like these really small indie games. It's just kind of interesting. I think the bigger studios now are seeing like the benefit of having a smaller team.
Well, yeah, and, EA and Ubisoft, they tend to be more publishers and developers. So even though like all the Assassin's Creed games are, Ubisoft games, it's like 4 different studios that produce them. That's how you get one a year. So one studio is producing one Assassin's Creed every like 3 years or something like that. So it's probably like buying up, sort of like what Budweiser is doing with craft beer. They're buying up a lot of craft brands now. And it's probably the same kind of thing where they're buying up or filling with much smaller studios to put out these indie games.
Yeah, Grow Home was actually bought as a studio that was bought, but they became part of Ubisoft. So it's not like that. It's It's not like a separate developer published or made the game and then Ubisoft published it. They're actually taking these indie studios and incorporating them into their own house, basically. Yeah.
Right.
Right. That's interesting.
Well, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to call it. I gotta go to bed soon.
All right. It's probably good. We've been going for right at 90 minutes. It's a good podcast. I'd like to thank everyone for coming on. If y'all would like to plug your show and where everyone can find you, because everyone's going to want to find you. Come on. We have tens of people who listen to the show.
Tens.
Yeah. If you are a Dresden nerd like the rest of us, then we are having Jim Butcher on our show on February 13th. We will be recording at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so 5 p.m. Eastern Time on February 13th.
Are y'all freaking out?
I'm really freaking out. I'm so scared.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, and if you have questions and stuff, you can send it to us. The official email is DresdenFilesPodcast, all one word, @gmail.com. And yeah.
Twitter.com/DresdenCast.
Awesome.
And we are definitely freaking out.
And we will be on the Dresden Files podcast next weekend.
Yeah.
So you can find us there if you want to visit us there, which we will be much more involved with the Dresdening, obviously. So,
Do want to say one more time, I'm going to plug it again. Life is Strange. You guys should all play it. Seriously, life-changing game. Play it. Let me know if you play it, because I'm desperate for people to talk about it with. I literally just started messaging everyone I know on Facebook, like, have you played this game? Have you played this game? It's so good.
It's like your Candy Crush.
Oh, yeah. But Candy Crush doesn't end. This game, it's so good. Please play it.
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for coming out to the 42 podcast, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.